Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of All Kinds of Advice podcast, the show where we go into the lives of celebrities and explore various topics that pique our interest. Today, we have a fascinating episode lined up for you. We will be discussing the intriguing possibility of Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan welcoming a child together. So, just to give a bit of information in regards to the two people that we are talking about, for those that may not know them, Larsa Pippen is no stranger to the limelight. The Real Housewives of Miami and former spouse of basketball legend Scottie Pippen has been making waves with her relationship with Marcus Jordan, who is the son of the legendary Michael Jordan, who we know as a basketball player, played many years for the Chicago Bulls. So recently, the couple addressed the topic of having children during an episode of Separation Anxiety, which is the name of their new podcast that they launched together. So Marcus and Larsa mentioned on the episode that they have not really talked seriously about having kids. So they've now had a conversation, sat down and had a serious conversation as to, whether they're gonna have kids together. And, Marcus mentioned that at the moment, he is focused on building a name for himself outside of Michael Jordan, and he is focused on building, a brand for himself, and of course, more financial increase for himself. He mentioned that he has a store, I believe it's called Trophy Room. So he's been sort of nurturing that store and building that brand for himself. Because yes, his dad is rich. Yes, his dad has money. But then at the end of the day, do you want to like rely on your parents every single time for money? Or would you prefer to, establish your own business and then have financial gains in the future? Because, that's in my opinion, like that's the best thing to do. Build a name for yourself and, rely on yourself to be financially independent. And I took a quote from, what he had mentioned in the interview, just to kind of give you, a picture of what he was mentioning on the episode. So he said, I always wanted to establish my own name outside of being Michael Jordan's son. So for me, Trophy Room gave me the opportunity as my business. So I've always nurtured it and treated it as my child. It's occupied all of my time and energy. Having a child was always so far out of my mind frame. And at the end of the day, he's only 32 years old. You know what I mean? Like, he can have kids like if he wants in his late 30s, early 40s. I don't think personally there's any rush to have any children at the moment. Establish your brand, establish your shoe store, and then when you feel like, oh my God, like I've made so much money out of this, then he can start to think about having children, because we know with having children, there's a lot of financial costs associated with that. So he doesn't need to rush. And at the same time, like, he's with Larsa Pippen. She has four kids already. So it's not like she needs to rush to have children as well. So, Marcus, I agree with you. Nurture your business, nurture your brand. And then when the time is right, you can have kids. It's not running away from you. Like, you're not running away from anything if you don't have kids presently. So, I agree with him that he should take his time. Larsa mentioned that, she has kids already, and that this would be a question mainly for Marcus. And this is what she mentioned. She said, I feel like I'm happy because I have four kids, and I feel like you don't have kids. So basically, it'd be a question for you. So she's mentioning that to Marcus because I'm really fulfilled with my four children. Although I agree, she could be fulfilled. Of course, she's happy that she has the four kids because, if people have kids, like, why wouldn't they be happy that they have the kids? Unless if they don't like children, then that's another story. You know what I mean? But I found her statement to be a little bit contradictory when I was watching the interview because later on in the interview, as it relates to the topic of Marcus and her having children, she mentioned, time is ticking and clicking. I have 4 kids and I love being a mom, and I feel like I would be open to having one more child. So is the onus on having another child mainly Marcus' decision, or do you really want it too? I feel like she's 1 minute she's saying like, well, I don't really need to have any other kids, but I would be open to having other kids. I feel like, she was not straight up in terms of what she really wants. I feel like she's kind of hiding what she really wants and her intention, as far as it relates to having more kids. If you want more kids, just say you want more kids. Like, baby girl, like it is what it is. Like, no one is going to, well, at least I'm not gonna knock you down if you want more kids. This is someone that you're with. You're with Marcus. He doesn't have any children. What is the big deal if you give him one child? So I don't agree with her that, she came and she said, yes, I am fulfilled. It's all up to Marcus. But then she's also saying, I do love being a mom, so I wouldn't mind being a mom. Be straightforward in terms of what you want. And the best thing is, in my opinion, like if you are with him, you can give him a kid. It's not like at the moment he seems like I watched some of their Instagram pictures and photos, and I could tell, like, they are into each other. It's only been a year. It hasn't been like a decade-long relationship where we could know that, the relationship is a done deal and it's stamped and they're going to be together for eternity. But it seems like they like each other. So if he sees a long-term future with her, then I don't see why they shouldn't have kids. And I don't feel like she should have been wishy-washy, when that topic of them wanting kids was brought up. And it seems as though also their friends are also asking, like, when are y'all gonna have kids and that sort of thing. And of course, the onus is on them when they feel that they're fully ready. In terms of wanting children. But I've been seeing a lot of criticism about their relationship on Instagram and other online spaces where people feel like, there is a bit of a huge age gap between the two of them. As I mentioned, Marcus is 32 years old, and then Larsa Pippen is like 40 years old. So it's about like a 16-year age gap. So some people feel like, what, she should sort of date somebody within her age group, and he should sort of date someone within his age group. And I disagree with that because I feel like we cannot tell people who to love, and we cannot dictate, you know, telling people like, oh, you shouldn't love somebody because they're 50 years old. Like, people are gonna love who they love at the end of the day. Maybe for Marcus, she treats him really good. She's loving on her man. Again, I see some of the pictures on Instagram where, they went on vacation together and they're loving up each other. So maybe he feels very fulfilled with her. So we can't tell him who to date. And, she's someone that's mature. Maybe people in his age group, he probably thinks like he hasn't found anyone that's mature. And that doesn't mean to say there's a lot of 32-year-old women that are mature, but he sort of found his person probably, and Larsa is probably his person. So whether people criticize, him being with her because of the age difference, or him wanting to have kids with her because of the age difference, people could criticize all they want, but at the end of the day, um, people are going to do whatever they want to do. And especially, these two celebrities are obviously rich. They're going to do whatever they want to do at the end of the day, despite, people going against it or people being critical of them being together. I'm going to share some comments from, some fans on Instagram. Shade Room posted this story. Shout out to Shade Room. That's where I was able to get some of the comments as to what people thought about them having kids, their perspective. So someone said here, sis, you're pushing 50 and you had so much cosmetic surgery. Stop. So I feel like we should not dictate when a woman can have children, and we should not tell women what they can and cannot do with their bodies. If someone is 50 or 55, and they're still, they haven't hit menopause and they want to have children, we shouldn't tell them that, oh, because you're this age, you shouldn't have children. Like, that is their body, and they should have the authority to do whatever they want with their body. So in terms of that, feedback from this particular person, I respect it, because, everyone is entitled to their opinion, but I feel like people shouldn't dictate what we can and cannot do with our bodies. That's how I feel. And then another person said, she's trying to get a piece of that Jordan legacy, knowing that her ex-husband, former teammate, is crazy. Again, I personally disagree with the statement. I don't feel like Larsa is with Marcus Jordan for the money. She has her own money. She is worth 10 million. When I did my research, I noticed that she's worth 10 million, and that's a lot of money. That money is going to serve her for quite some time, if she invests the money, and if she, manages the money properly, which I'm sure she probably would. These celebrities probably have, people like financial advisors and that sort of thing. And she also has her own businesses as well. I remember before in the past when I used to research certain things about her, she also has a jewelry line as well. And then Marcus has this, of course, the shoe store. So I don't think she's with him for the money. I think she really wants to be loved, and I think it seems as though their relationship is genuine. So, I do respect the feedback from that comment from that individual on Instagram. However, I don't feel like, this is all about money for her. And then somebody else mentioned on Instagram, well, Michael writing him out the will if he does that. Why would he need to write his son out of the will? When you have children, you're going to love them unconditionally, no matter what choices they make. As long as they're not making choices that are dangerous and, fatal, where their life could be endangered. I don't feel like he's going to write his son out of the will. That's his son at the end of the day. And what is he going to do? He's going to leave his financial, like whatever money that he's made throughout the years, he's going to leave that for a friend. He's going to leave that for his children at the end of the day. So, I hope they do have kids in the future. The time is obviously ticking, in reference to children. She's getting older. But then, of course, we're not going to put a limit on when she can have kids, as long as she has not hit menopause and she wants to, and Marcus wants the kid, then we're here for it. But shout out to Larsa for her age. She looks really, really good. She's sexy. I love a lot of her pictures that she has online. She is a beautiful woman, despite a lot of the cosmetic surgeries that she has had over the years. And then shout out to Marcus. He also looks good. I seen some of his muscles on some of the pictures on Instagram. He looks good, and he is obviously into fitness, but I'm here for their relationship. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you feel like, Larsa Pippen is too old to have kids? Do you think that her wanting kids is her sort of wanting a piece of the Jordan fortune, which I don't believe she wants any money from him, because she has her own money. She is worth 10 million, as I have mentioned prior. But, I'm curious to know what you guys think in the comment section below. This one is definitely spicy in terms of Larsa Pippen and Marcus Jordan. And I'm here for this story. I loved it. I had a lot of fun, recording this one for you guys. But we're going to keep it short and sweet for today. But this was All Kinds of Advice podcast. I will catch you guys on the next episode. Do not forget to like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Let's take it up a notch and bring it to 1,000 subscribers. I will see you all next time. Ciao.